Welcome to Weapon of Wednesday, this time with the Ameli or Ameli. I don't know really how you pronounce that, but I hope you know what I mean. It's the first LMG you can pick. Now, why am I making a Weapon of Wednesday video about this weapon? Well, I don't think a lot of people use this weapon. Well, I don't think a lot of people use LMGs anyway. With reason, of course, because you're slow as shit with this weapon. And I don't really like LMGs, to be completely honest, but I have to admit that this is a beauty. I mean, because it kills good. It's not ridiculous with the with the kick, and I guess you can do your thing with this one, be it at a slower pace than you might be used to, but oh, he missed. So yeah, the Ameli is a pretty solid weapon. Sure, it makes you slow as shit, but no. It's actually quite something. If I can say so. Oh, it has good range, good damage. Fire rate is a bit slower, but I've boosted that with rapid fire, one of the attachments I put on it, to kind of give me a little, well, to make my weapon a little better with that, you know, because if you face an LMG at close range, you'll usually lose with an LMG. Oh, that's weird. But if you put rapid fire on this one, it's, well, I'm not saying it's going to beat an LMG or an SMG, but this LMG will give you a better chance, especially if you manage to hip fire pretty accurately. I mean, might be tricky, but it's doable, and I've done it. And of course I put a muzzle brake on it because, well, I want to have increased damage on this, but definitely more range, you know. I want to kill at as far away possible, as quickly as possible. As you can see, just what I just did there. I mean, that went pretty quick, don't you think? I mean, you might have to get used to these iron sights. I'm not particularly fond of them because they're a little bit, yeah, I don't know. Can you see it? Can you see it? I mean, I'm not that fond of it, but it's something you can get used to. I think it's something, you know. It's not the best, but it's not the worst either. So yeah, I guess sometimes you just have to get used to that. I mean, sure, you can put a reticle on almost every weapon, but some iron sights just take some time to get used to. One of the things you really need to get used to when you wield a LMG is you move slower. And you probably noticed that here, that yeah, I don't move fast, and that's why I also prefer to stick to this building. I mean, it's never a bad idea to stick to this building when you play on this map, flooded, but I think it's especially better if you have an LMG. Sure, you can camp in a corner, but I mean, yeah, that's just, don't be that guy. I mean, seriously, don't be a camper. Nobody likes a camper. So, what about my kill streaks? Well, as you can see, I use a Loki, and then you say Loki. Yes, Loki, indeed, the Loki. Now, let me get this beauty here. See, a lot of people hate the Loki. Now, personally, I don't really understand why, because it's actually pretty good. And then you think, like, oh, well, why is it so good then? Well, see, I can put a teammate on the ground with an, I think it's the death machine, and that will pretty much, well, destroy a lot of assholes. And what I also like is that you can fire big and tiny rods. Now, usually what I do is I fire first my that support guy, with his death machine. Then I fire care packages anytime I can get one there to you know, to help me a bit, and my team, of course. I mean, I can't pick him up right now. Oh, I did get him. Double kill, nice. See, the rods, they're not that impressive, and that's why I hear a lot of people complain about Loki, like, oh, it's a bullshit thing, you don't get kills with it, and all that. That might be true, it's not the best killing weapon, but actually, even on the assault one, you have a pretty good support one, which sounds crazy. I mean, assault, kill streak reward, being supportive, yeah, actually it is. Because, I don't know if you can see it, oh god, I'm stuck on the wall. That light blue, see, this fellow likes to stick around me. This is my teammate now that I called in. He's a pretty fucking killer. And, annoying flies here. And it's crazy how that guy is technically unbeatable. Well, of course he's beatable, but he's pretty deadly. And it's well, he could take quite a lot of damage, so that's pretty cool. Now, oh, see, and this is why I like to have the guard dog. Because I'm so fucking slow with this weapon, I want to have someone that watches my back. Now, and a guard dog is usually pretty good for that. Of course, you can also put a vulture on it, but I find vultures a bit clumsy when you're indoors. I mean, some of them can follow you inside, but yeah, I'm not particularly fond of that. Now, let's see, what more can I say about this weapon? Well, it's pretty good. I mean, that's technically sums it up pretty good. I mean, I could talk shit about it and say like, well, oh man, it's the best weapon ever. No, it's not. And it's not very cool how slow you are with this one, but if you take it just a little bit slower, you know, stick to one area. I'm not saying camping, I'm saying patrolling around in one area. Then I think this weapon is actually pretty good, because you can actually get some decent kills pretty quickly, especially if you have rapid fire on it. And muzzle brake will give you a little bit more range, even though the range on this weapon is already pretty good. I just like to use muzzle brake on as many weapons as possible if I'm not using a silencer on it, because you can also put a silencer on this one, but I prefer to use muzzle brake on this LMG. Now, what else is there? Well, we even have time left to talk about something. I mean, this is not how I would suggest it to use this one. You know, with my perks and my kill streaks. I mean, that is just my personal choice, buddy. Oh my god! Holy shit, look at that! Did you see that? Look at that, he got a triple kill there, look at this! Holy shit! My god dog never does that! Jesus Christ, that guy was on crack, or, well, that dog was on crack, like, kill! I mean, dear god, man, give me that god dog. Holy shit, my guard dog is usually, yeah, well, I'll do it in my own time. But this guy was like, oh man, holy shit, let's do it. Good god, man, that was fucking, I was like, what the hell is going on there? But anyway, that was, that was unpleasant, but I guess it happens, you know. Anyway, that is the Ameli, or Ameli, I mean, whatever the fuck you call it. It's well, you know, it's a good weapon. I mean, otherwise I wouldn't really talk about it here, but it's just weird that a lot of people don't want to use this weapon. Now, I don't know if people don't know if it's good, or if they just don't like LMGs. I mean, it makes sense, but... So, well, let me quickly show a little bit more about it. Well, so the fully automatic increased damage and range with slower rate of fire for stability. Well, there is a little bit of a kick in, but that also has something to do with this, rapid fire. Now, as you can see, I used rapid fire on it and muzzle brake, as I already talked about. Now, What I also like to use is this. This is a grenade launcher as my secondary. Now, as you could, well, as you probably saw in the video, I didn't use this one. So why do I put this one on? Well, I like to use this one against campers. People that like to sit in their hidey hole, so I just shoot some of these in. Now, I'm not saying that this is the best. Probably the Panzerfaust is better, but you know, I already have the Panzerfaust on one of my other team members, so I just like to mix it up a bit. Now, I also like to use C4. Now, C4 usually comes in handy. I noticed that in Black Ops 2, people used a lot more C4 than here, but it can still actually work pretty good, especially, once again, with campers. This is technically my explosive expert, so don't be surprised if you see a lot of explosive things attached to this character. Now, with the perks, of course, ready up to have my LMG ready ASAP. Now, sleight of hand so that I reload much faster is a definitely must if you have an LMG. Otherwise, you'll spend a long time reloading. And I know with an LMG, you don't need to reload a lot, but you'll just see the moment you start reloading that you die. Now, and if you have a kill streak like the Loki in it, you cannot use fuck-ups like that. Now, focus, of course, to keep the damage on the target, which, of course, if you get shot, goes all over the place. I have Blast Shield once again tied to the explosive character for me, because he's an explosive specialist. At least I made him into that. So I don't, especially when I use C4, that I don't accidentally blow myself up if it's pretty close to me. But also if I'm walking around, because I don't have sit rep on this one, that I don't accidentally trip on mine and then die from it. So I can take a bit more. Now, and of course an extra lethal, so I have 2 C4s instead of 1. So it's not really that special, but because this weapon is pretty good, I'm usually sticking to one area a bit. I don't really need many of the others perks. Now, and what kind of rewards do I use? Well, of course, a SATCOM is not nothing special, just simple. I mean, especially if you're having a bad day, at least you usually can get this one, and probably also this one. And a guard dog is definitely for watching your back, which comes in very handy because a lot of times with an LMG, especially if it's a loud one without with a silencer on it, you will most likely draw a lot of attention to yourself. Now, and of course the Loki, this one is probably a big surprise maybe to you. I like it. I like to use it to help out my team with the care packages and that squad made with the death machine. If it's not your thing, you don't have to do it, but, you know, try to find something else that you think. I mean, you can always put a vulture on it, but I wouldn't recommend something like a vulture if you already have a guard dog, if you're not moving around a lot. I mean, it's maybe you could find something else, maybe a chopper or something like that. But anyway, whatever you want, I like the Loki, and I'm using the Loki. So anyway, there you have it. This is the Ameli or Ameli. I'm still not entirely certain how you pronounce it, but anyway, you probably know which one I mean. See, this one. So anyway, I hope this was a little bit informative, and I'd like to see you in in another Weapon on Wednesday video. Thank you for watching.